Hello, and welcome to the 20th edition of Film ReVision. Only 5 more episodes to go in the online talk show that over the course of 2008 has been discussing 25 films from 25 years ago. Perhaps the most renowned American auteur of the last 40 years has been Martin Scorsese. He is perhaps the person we think of most when we hear the term filmmaker. Though he never had the sort of financial box office success of somebody like, say, Steven Spielberg, his flashy style and techniques borrowed from European art cinema made him a celebrity in his own right and a favorite of many film critics. Today we're discussing a film that was his follow-up to what many considered to be his masterpiece, 1980's Raging Bull. In 1983, he once again teamed up with his longtime collaborator, Robert De Niro, for the dark satire, The King of Comedy. And to discuss The King of Comedy with us today, we have with us Stavroula Toska, an actor originally from Greece, currently residing in New York City, and also Michael McDonald, a graphic designer from Queens. All right, Michael, you're up first. Opening thoughts, King of Comedy.
You definitely hit it on the mark when you said a dark comedy. I enjoyed the film. I thought that was very good. It stylistically was, I think, maybe in some ways ahead of its time.
That's what you get with Marty.
But it's definitely very dark, a little unnerving at times to me.
I want to come back to that. Stavroula, what are your thoughts?
I truly enjoyed it. First of all, I always...
Truly enjoyed it?
Yes, I always enjoy... it was scary at times, and I was like, oh my God, those two are crazy. Robert De Niro and Sandra Bernhard. She was scary. I think it was perfectly cast. It was really fun for me to watch Jerry Lewis, that I grew up watching in all those comedies back home.
The first thing that stuck out to me most about this film is great filmmaking. There's several moments in this film, they're just like details, ideas that are just so on the money, like some great cinematic moments. All right, so I witnessed all this great filmmaking, I'm appreciating it, but man, did this movie make me uncomfortable. And is that okay? It didn't make you uncomfortable?
It did at times, but not to the point to say, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I really like the movie. I like the idea behind it.
I'm not enjoying the experience of watching the movie. That's sort of what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the character Rupert, we know he has this strong attraction to Rita, the character that works at the bar, and he'll do anything to impress her.
Do you really feel like that his motivating goal was the need for Rita?
No, he wanted to be famous.
Yeah, I think that's what it is about. I don't think. I mean, I think the Rita was a byproduct of that. And
like, what can I have? And this is what I can have when I make it. When I have the money, when I have the fame, the success.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's something to her being the high school princess. You know, like I think that says something about him being a loser in high school. And it's not about wanting Rita. It's about wanting approval from people from his past.
Sure. There's a lot of people out there, especially in our age with YouTube and the internet in general. How many people put stuff out there just hoping that the rest of us will just click on it and check it out and talk about it and...
Like this show, for example.
Like this show. Well, yeah, click on this show and forward it to your friends, that's fine. But it's amazing the lengths that people will go, and I've heard some crazy stories.
Well, it's not just the need to be famous, but also the price of being famous.
Yeah,
if you
I was just about to say that. Yeah, Jerry just did not seem happy, especially that scene you were talking about when he went home.
Yeah,
he was
having
a drink and he was looking out the window, and the guy just looked like he's not happy with his fame.
And also how they didn't believe he was him when he called in as a kid. He was kidnapped, and here he's like calling in, please help me, and they didn't believe him. It was. I think that's another part. But there's another theme. So the way that fame works, the way that Rupert could commit this crime and actually become famous. He succeed his goals, lifted up by the media machine.
We've seen it happen in real life. Somebody goes to jail, they write a book about what they've done, and now they're a millionaire by the time they come out.
It certainly calls question as to what we put on a pedestal in our culture.
Right.
I want to very quickly talk about details. I'm going to throw out a couple, and I'd like you guys to do the same. I thought the opening shot, the freeze frame shot, it's such a great idea. Because most filmmakers would demand like a perfect frame, but he's got this frame where the hands over Rupert's face and a freeze, and the light bulb from the photography is coming into the car. It's just such a great idea to roll the credits on for me. Anything you guys remember in terms of detail?
Sandra Bernhard actually having dinner with Jerry Lewis, from what she was wearing to her makeup to the candles all around the apartment, how she set up the dinner table, him taped all around, I thought that was
The
very interesting.
detail of the amount of tape they used was good.
Wow.
That was a good choice.
Because you know what, I felt for her that sure she was obsessed with him and it was like beyond normal, but at the same time you could see how much she was into him and how much she wanted to spend some time with him, and that was just so important to her. That was uncomfortable for me to watch when he was all taped up and she's just talking about making love to him and just cleaning up the table. And
I think just Sandra Bernhard stripping is uncomfortable.
yeah, right? I didn't want to say that, but
You like Sandra Bernhard. I like her for the most of the movie until that scene.
okay.
I think that scene is a big whiff for her. First of all, I think she takes it too far. That crazy monologue, I just feel like doing something crazy and like accentuating crazy. What was underneath this need? Like I didn't see that, and to me, the character had potential, wound up being empty, and that was a flaw in the film.
I think, yeah, when she started doing that stuff, that I felt it was over the top. I thought she was more menacing when she was a lot more subtle in her ways.
We talked about Sandra Bernhard, but we missed the biggie. DeNiro.
Awesome.
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 I have to agree.
He's uncomfortable, but god damn, that guy gets underneath the character. Or he did.
Absolutely.
So sad that he decided to not act anymore. Still performing in movies, but he decided not to act.
It was amazing to see him in Taxi and Raging Bull to play this, angry macho character, and then, in this movie he's still not necessarily angry, but it's Robert De Niro. He's that macho type of actor, to me at least.
Well,
but
I mean, his screen persona adds to the fear to some degree, because you're afraid at any minute he's going to explode like a time bomb. That's an extra added element there, and that's an example of a director utilizing a screen persona to his advantage, because sometimes that can, someone's previous screen history is a distraction. All right, so for closing thoughts, what we've been doing is ranking the film on a scale of 1 to 10, and then succinctly telling me why. So, Michael, take it away.
For me personally, I would give it a 7. It's very interesting. I mean, the angles that they go with this character. I mean, how they get you to like him, to hate him, to like him again, to hate him again. The interaction with Sandra Bernhard, him interacting with Jerry Lewis in the movie. I just found it very engaging.
I agree with that. I will say, though, that I also never once, I felt sorry for him, not once.
Really?
I want to say that I would give it an 8.5, maybe 9. I really enjoyed the
Can you pick one?
9.
Okay.
I'm feeling generous today. I like the story. I love the performances. I thought it was perfectly cast. Like I said in the very beginning, I enjoyed seeing Robert De Niro doing, that kind of stuff, like that desperate, funny, vulnerable, back, 25 years ago, and not the Robert De Niro that we know now. And I really loved Jerry Lewis.
I'm going to give it an 8 for great filmmaking, just really great details, some really great ideas that a lot of filmmakers should watch. I didn't enjoy the experience of watching the movie, and I think that's really important, how uncomfortable it made me, and I didn't want to feel that, and so it walks that line. I'm afraid it's time to say farewell. Thank you very much, Stavroula and Michael, for coming out to talk about the King of Comedy with us today. As I mentioned earlier, we are nearing the end of our investigation of 25 films from 1983. After our 25th episode airs in December, we're going to bring you a year-end finale in which we're going to talk about the best of 1983, and we're going to bring back the guests that you chose as your favorites through your views and your votes on YouTube. So keep an eye out for that towards the end of this year. This week on Reel 13, Saturday, November the 15th, we're going to see the film that brought the first Best Actor Oscar award to an African-American, Sidney Poitier in Lilies of the Field. After that will be the Reel 13 short that you will have chosen on Reel13.org. And then we'll see the first Reel 13 indie to directly address 9/11. The Guys stars Anthony LaPaglia as a firefighter who lost several men in the collapse of the towers and seeks the help of editor Sigourney Weaver to write their eulogies. On a much happier note, Film ReVision will return in a week or so, in which we're going to talk about the only musical that we're going to discuss this year, Barbra Streisand's Yentl. We'll see you then.